wasn't seeking fame. Come hear the Purim story. Vashti's looks you won't lay eyes on. Do you think the first queen is dumb? Then Esther turns the surprise on. The king will say, I see who you really are, a girl on whom I can rely. And that's how we'll begin Esther and Mordecai.
Come make some noise on Purim. Sing a happy song. Hum and Tashin on Purim. No fruit flavor could be wrong.
Mordecai is so proud of her. He sits at the palace gate. And though the king does truly love her, to say she's Jewish, she must wait.
And this Jewish pride that she feels inside, maybe at last she'll know why. When there's danger in the land, Esther and Mordecai.
And though she's... Hang on a second. And one day he'll say to her, Esther, niece,
Cousin.
as someone who senses their strife, shouldn't a girl who is on the inside speak up so she can save a life? And though folks to an absurd degree know about this absurd decree, what can I turn to you? Can I rely on you?
And though that ask makes her wanna flee, all right, why not? She'll reply, and that's how we'll begin Esther and Mordecai. Yes, what a pair they'll be. Unlimited, the future is unlimited. And she's just had a vision, almost like a prophecy. We know it sounds truly crazy, and sure, the vision's hazy. But we know because of Queen Esther, a celebration throughout Shushan that's all to do with her. So we'll stand here now on Purim, knowing Esther is the goat. And every year we'll show it by sending our friends a note. And so it will be for the rest of our lives, and we want nothing else till we die,
Held in high esteem.
when people see that, they will scream,
They're Jewish Shushan's favorite team. Esther and Mordecai. Welcome, Temple Emeth, to Purim, the funnest night of the year. It is my pleasure to have Rabbi Rebecca Einstein-Shore playing Galinda. And it is great to have all of you here this evening. Hopefully you got a copy of the Green Purim Service booklet on your way into the sanctuary. And if you're watching on live stream, you can go to the live stream page of our website and you can click on the link and you too can download a copy of our Purim Service booklet so that you can follow along. By the way, if you're watching on live stream, you can post something in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform, something like you know, your favorite flavor of Hamantaschen, or what costume you're wearing as you watch our show on live stream, or you can just say Chag Sameach, Happy Purim, because that's what we're here to celebrate, whether we're in person or online. So, with that said, we are going to begin our prayers for Purim. You will hear some special melodies for some of the prayers, especially if you have seen the show or the movie Wicked. Thanks for paying attention. So now you're Elphaba, right? Now that we're dressed like this, you can say that that costume is not just a general witch costume. It is an Elphaba costume, right? Go with it. You don't have to wear green makeup to agree with me. Okay, so we are on page 1 as we begin our service together. It's a responsive reading. Purim is unlike any other Jewish holiday. On the high holy days, we seek to uncover our true selves. On Sukkot, we wonder and worry whether the winter will be difficult. On Passover, we give God full credit for our redemption. Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
So, when Jews get together and get started to pray, and let's face it, we're meant to do it 3 times every day. It falls apart so instantaneously. When no one tries to take over, we simply have to start over. I know exactly what we need. And even in this case, though it's not the toughest case I've yet to face, don't worry, I'm determined to succeed. Follow my lead, and yes, indeed, stay standing. Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, et Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. La, 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 la. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Many Hamans.
Boo!
That was a warm-up. It wasn't very good. Have tried to destroy us. Though they have attacked the Jewish body, they have not damaged the Jewish soul. Our enemies will never succeed so long as we continue to stand and declare that God is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we turn to the top of page 2 in our Purim booklet, and we read responsively. Love Adonai, your God, with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. for this occasion, it goes like this. There once was a people in slavery, in Egypt, a place not so savory. Though their journey was long, they sang out a great song, thanking God for such unending bravery.
The trouble with servitude is they always try to work you to the bone. Believe me, we've been worked right to the bone. They've made us build houses and cities and even killed our babies. Keep living in strife and learn to live the liberated life. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh. No ra tehilot. Oh, say fele. No ra tehilot. Oh, say fele. Micha mocha. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh. No ra tehilot. Oh, say fele. No ra tehilot. Oh, say fele. Micha mocha. Let's go down to the edge of the sea. We'll meet there later tonight. We can cross till it's light. It'll all be okay if you heed what I say. Right on down to the sea of reeds. Come on, follow me. You'll be happy to be free. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha no ra tehilot. Oh, say fele.
We take a moment now for silent prayer. just a moment, we will read the Megillah, and so I want to call upon our Grogger Distribution Committee, co-chaired by Michael Goldberg and Mike Eastman, to do the one thing I asked them to do: distribute the Groggers. Jill Cantor thinks she has the biggest Grogger in the room. Is it bigger than this one? I think it is. Spin it, Jill. Let's hear how loud it is. Okay, my turn. I'll do it away from the microphone, so it's fair, but within the view of the live stream camera.
So, are you saying it's not about size?
It's only about volume. Pick up the pace here, committee. Okay, I think we're almost there. I think we're close enough to full distribution of Groggers that we can now turn to page 4. And on page 4, we find the blessings for reading the Megillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mikra Megillah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim l'avoteinu bayamim ha'em b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'eheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
All right, let's give it a practice Grogger round, okay? We're not, by the way, we're not practicing making noise. We're practicing stopping making noise when you see this. Can you read this? It's pretty clear, right? Okay, now we're ready to practice. Haman. Okay. I have a feeling it's going to get louder, but the stopping was pretty good. So, we are ready, near the bottom of page 4. In days of old, there lived a rich and powerful king named Ahasuerus, who ruled all of the Persian Empire. To celebrate his great prosperity, King Ahasuerus invited his princes, noblemen, and servants to a big feast, not a potluck, which lasted for 7 days. Also not like our potluck. On the last day of the celebration, the king sent for his beautiful wife, Vashti, because he was proud of her and wanted to present her to the people. But Vashti refused to come at the king's command. Ahasuerus was enraged at the queen's rude behavior and felt that her actions might encourage other wives to disobey their husbands. So he sent Vashti away from the palace and issued a decree. This called all the beautiful young maidens of the land to come before him so that he could choose a new queen. Who here is dressed up as a queen? Anyone? All right. Well, did you guys shop at the same place? Okay, come up quickly and pose. Go to camera 2, Cantor tight. Come stand next to Rabbi Shore, our Galinda. Wait. We have the camera on you. We're all waiting. The entire internet is waiting for you to come stand. Okay, come. There we go. Okay, so now our 3 princesses glasses. You see the red light up there? Wave at that red light right over there. Wave to the whole internet. There we go. All right, stand right behind them for a good picture. Okay, that was our own little Temple Emeth pageant to show you that there was a pageant by which the king would choose a new queen. Back to page 5. A Jew named Mordecai heard the decree and was eager for his niece Esther to go before the king because she was very beautiful. So Mordecai brought Esther to the palace, first advising her not to tell anyone that she was of the house of Israel. Shh. When Esther went before Ahasuerus, he could not take his eyes away from her. He fell in love with her and preferred her to all the other maidens. So he set the royal crown on Esther's head and made her queen in place of Vashti. After several days passed, Esther's uncle Mordecai happened to pass 2 of the king's guards and overheard them plotting to murder the king. Immediately, Mordecai went to Esther, who in turn told Ahasuerus of the plan to murder him. When the matter was investigated, the 2 guards confessed to the plot, and they were put to death. Then Ahasuerus appointed a man named... Is now the right time to tell you about the World Zionist Congress elections?
Yes.
Well... we don't do our groggers at the World Zionist Congress elections. They're very, very important, and I'm gonna go around during the social hall, tell you more about them later, but they're very important. Also, in the social hall, you will have the chance to buy and get the author to sign a brand newly published book, 10 Purim Bears. The author is Temple member Ron Atlas, and he's sitting right over there. So after the service, you can speak to Ron and buy your own personal copy of 10 Purim Bears. Haman! In whom he had great trust, to be his chief officer in charge of the many princes and governors in the land. All the people of Persia bowed down to Haman, to show their respect for the king's favored servant. But Mordecai did not trust Haman. And refused to bow down to him. Haman was filled with fury and hatred and vowed that he would punish not only Mordecai, but all the Jews in the land. Haman went to Ahasuerus with an untrue story. He told the king that certain people in Persia were following their own customs and not also obeying the king's laws. Haman I haven't won any chance. Urged the king to destroy these people because he said they were weakening his kingdom. Ahasuerus trusted and believed Haman. And so he gave him full permission to do whatever he believed was necessary for the good of the country. With the king's permission, the evil Haman ordered the death of every Jew in the land. When Mordecai heard this fearful news, he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth, the robes of grief. Then he went to Esther's chambermaids and asked them to take the news to Esther. he told them to ask her to go before the king and plead for her people's safety and for her own life. Esther was frightened, for there was a royal custom that no one could approach the king unless that person was sent for. If any man or woman disobeyed this rule, the penalty was death. Mordecai sent Esther a message saying, "Do not think that you will be spared just because you are queen. If you keep silent in this crisis, deliverance will come to the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish." Well, Esther had a big decision to make. Was she going to approach the king or not? And this choice, this challenge, is what Eitz Chaim, our junior choir, is going to sing about at this time. So I'd like to invite them up to the Bima steps as they have prepared 2 songs for us this evening. The first is called Esther, You Can Change the World. But we change the world only when we recognize our opportunities. Okay, so we are at full strength today with Eitz Chaim. Okay. All right, Eitz Chaim is under the direction of Tom Mustachio and Assistant Advisor Emma Foyer, dressed for Purim like the red M&M. Nice outfit, Emma. Okay, it's absolutely Angry Bird, but in my defense, she was sitting over there, and if I could only see the top third, including the eyebrow of the Angry Bird, kind of looked like the eyebrow of the M&M guy character. So, yes, it's Angry Bird. Be sure, Emma, to come up for the costume parade at the end so that everyone can see that I was wrong. It's only an hour service, Eitz Chaim. What's happening here?
In a place you may have heard about, in Shushan, as you know, an evil man named Haman said, the Jews have got to go. Now Esther was
Thank you and Yashikach to Eitz Chaim. They have prepared a second song for us, a traditional Purim song called Chag Purim, which means Purim Festival. So, we look back to Eitz Chaim for Chag Purim. Look at Tom.
Chag Purim, Chag Purim, Chag Gadol hu layudim, Masechot Rashanim, Zmira Rikudim. Hava Narisha, rush, rush, rush. Hava Narisha, rush, rush, rush. Hava Narisha, rush, rush, rush. Barashanim. Purim Day, it's a happy holiday. We make noise with our toys, sing and dance and play. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. Let's hear the groggers rush, rush, rush. When they say,
Thank you, Yashikach. Wait, before you go, Eitz Chaim, let's pose for a picture with you looking right at the camera. Wait, come back. We're not done. I know we're done singing, but we're not done. Come back. Yes, get the... You should stand like 2 steps behind the singers. Tom, come get the picture. Come get the picture too. Galinda, come be in the picture too. Okay, now everyone look at Barbara. Okay, now everyone look at that camera. The phone, right there in the middle.
1, 2, 3, yay!
Now a round of applause for Eitz Chaim. Okay, thank you to Eitz Chaim and to Tom and to Emma for setting to music the tension of this moment, because Esther, you may recall, has to make a big decision. Is she going to risk her life to speak to the king to save her people? We're at the bottom of page 5. Hearing this, Esther resolved to speak to the king, not only to save her own life, turn the page, but for the sake of all the Jews in Persia. So she put on her most beautiful royal robes, and she stood at the entrance to the king's palace. Ahasuerus was sitting on his throne, and he at once saw his fair queen standing before him. Instead of being angry, Ahasuerus was pleased to see her and held out his golden scepter to show Esther that she was welcome. And Esther drew near and touched the end of the scepter as a sign of respect for the king. Then Ahasuerus promised to grant any wish for Esther, even if it meant giving away half his kingdom. But Esther explained that her only wish at that moment was for the king and his officer Haman to join her at dinner the next evening. Both the king and Haman accepted Esther's invitation, and Haman Are you getting tired? Are you getting fatigue of carpal tunnel? No? Okay. I want them louder when we get to the next one. He went away feeling very happy and honored that the queen had chosen him as her guest. In fact, he felt so safe and sure of both the king and the queen's favor that he had the gallows made for Mordecai's hanging the next morning. That same evening, King Ahasuerus had trouble falling asleep. So he went for a special book in which all the memorable deeds in the land were recorded. As Ahasuerus was reading, he came to the part which told how Mordecai had saved his life by exposing the murderous plot of the two royal guards. Ahasuerus asked his servants if any honor or reward had been given to Mordecai, and they replied that nothing had been done for him. Just then, Haman entered the king's chamber to speak to Ahasuerus about Mordecai. Do you realize that he wasn't worried about entering the king's chamber? I've read this story many, many times, and I just found a hole in the plot, because he was not worried at all about entering the king's chamber, and Esther was all worried about entering the king's chamber, and I don't know.
Maybe it had something to do with the golden scepter.
Yes, maybe, Galinda. Maybe it did. What is it that you've got that you're waving around there? About Mordecai's hanging as the gallows was ready and waiting. But before Haman could say anything, Ahasuerus asked his trusted officer, "What shall be done to the man whom the king delights to honor?" And Haman thinking that the king wanted to honor him, said, "I would give this man royal robes that the king has worn, a horse that the king has ridden, and let him ride through the streets of the city for all the people to honor." Then Ahasuerus said to Haman, "Make haste, take the robes and the horse, as you have said, and do so to Mordecai the Jew, who sits at the king's gates." Haman was shocked by the king's request, but he obeyed Ahasuerus. In great anger and jealousy, he led Mordecai through the streets to be honored by the whole city. The next evening, Ahasuerus and Haman attended Queen Esther's feast. While everyone was eating, the king said to Esther, "What is your wish?" And Esther replied, "My wish is that you save the lives of my people and myself, for we have been ordered to die." Then Ahasuerus said, "Who is the man who could do such a thing?" Again Esther replied, "A foe and an enemy, this wicked Haman." He has ordered the death of all the Jews, and since I am a Jew, I am to die too. Angrily, King Ahasuerus rose to his feet and ordered Haman to be hanged from the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. Not only was Haman hanged, I almost lost track of that one. But his sons as well, for they were part of his wicked scheme. Then Ahasuerus gave Haman's house That's me in selfie mode. That way I get all of you in my stop sign selfie too. To Queen Esther, and chose Mordecai to be his chief officer in place of Haman. When the Jews heard of this victory, Against, this is the last time, I think. Yep, scanning, it's true. Against the villainous Haman. I was looking to see if my hands would work, but you're trained kind of like Simon Says. If I don't hold this up, nothing works, which is fine. I mean, he deserved a lot of noise. Who threatened to take their lives, they all gathered and made an enormous feast. Since then, celebrating a holiday called Purim, at which time this ancient story of Esther is retold, has become an annual tradition. And that is the conclusion of the book of Esther. Oh, thank you very much. I did not write it, but I enjoyed reading it to you. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's time for our thank yous. So, first of all, thank you to the volunteers in the live stream control room. They are Pauline Hecht and Gail Turner. They've done a wonderful job trying to keep up with us as we've goofed around up here on the Bima. Thank you to Eitz Chaim for their wonderful singing. Thank you to Stacy Butler for organizing our potluck this evening. And then, seriously, we do have an important election for the Jewish people coming up. And you may make noise if you meet the following criteria. You ready? Are you Jewish? Are you 18 years or older by June 30th, 2025? Are you a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident of the United States? Is your primary residence in the United States? Do you believe in the state of Israel as the homeland for the Jewish people? And have you not voted in an Israeli election between November of 2022 and June of 2025? Okay, if you made noise for every one of those things, you are eligible to vote in the World Zionist Congress election. I have information, including a QR code, that makes it very easy to do it on your phone before you even leave tonight. If you vote before you leave tonight, then I will give you a sticker in Hebrew or in English that says either I voted or Hitzbati. That's how you say I voted in Hebrew. And as a Reformed synagogue, we ask that you vote for line 3, vote Reform. What line? 3. And what does it say next to it? Vote Reform. Okay, you are all ready for the World Zionist Congress elections. Now, Ron Atlas, how much do the books cost?
It costs $10, and half of it goes to the publisher, and the other half stays with the synagogue.
Okay, so for $10, you can get a copy of 10 Purim. It makes sense. It would be hard to charge a different price for a book called 10 Purim Bears than $10. So the price is worked right into the title, and you can see Ron at a table in the social hall, and he will be happy to sell you the book and to autograph it to your favorite, I guess, either Purim lover or bear lover, either one, right after our service. Okay, I think that we are ready to go to the next thing. Behind me are pictures of the hostages who were taken on October 7th. There are still about 70 or 75 who are marking their second Purim away from their families, and we think of them on this Purim, and we think of all of the people in Israel. and everyone who wants to see peace in Israel as we continue with the prayer for the state of Israel. Please rise. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Please remain standing. We turn back to our green booklets now to page 7 as our service continues with the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, livnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We turn to page 8. Even on joyous days, we remember people in our family whose lives have ended. Though they are no longer with us, we think of them. We have heard our friends and family talk about them. They are part of us. We ask you, Adonai, to remember them and give them peace. We join in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'yizman karib v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivorach leolam ulomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael b'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to those who mourn among us bring them comfort among the bereaved of the house of Israel and the bereaved of all humanity, and let us say amen. Please be seated. Well, I just want to do one more announcement, and that is to tell you that this Sunday at 2, there will be a program featuring Operating Together. It is an organization that brings Israeli and Palestinian surgeons together so that they can not only become better doctors and better healers, but they can get to know people who are not like themselves, and in that way have better understanding and perhaps in that way build bridges for peace. Advanced registration is required for this program. It is in the weekly email. I'm going to send out another email tomorrow. Please register before 2 o'clock tomorrow, and we would love to see you at the Operating Together program on Sunday at 2 o'clock. It should be very interesting and moving. And let me say thank you to Tom Mustachio and to Rabbi Rebecca Einstein-Shore. And obviously, she has one garment that doesn't match the rest of her outfit. However, she has, despite the immobility of an arm, worked very, very hard to prepare our music and be ready for today. So thank you, Rabbi Shore. And we are ready for our costume parade. So I'm going to ask all the children in costume, and the the adults, I suppose, but definitely the children. Come on up and stand on the steps because we want to get a picture of everybody's costume. Yes, our temple president is a Homentosh. He looks very good. He told me earlier that it's much more comfortable than wearing an Abe Lincoln beard, which is what he did last year, because he's the president. Okay, great. Children, come on up, alien. We don't want a photo without an alien. Here, why don't we stand, take 2 steps down. Who am I? I'm the wizard. I'm the wizard. I'm the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Come take 2 steps. How are we going to do this? All right. This is, okay, stay right here. Braden, just turn around. You're perfect. Right here. Okay. Come stand, Harper. Come stand next to Braden. Okay, yes, a little faster. Okay, you got everybody on this step. On this step. You can do this. All right. Right here is a good space for you. Okay. Do we have more? There we go. You want to take off your jacket? Is your jacket part of the costume? Okay. Everybody, look at Barbara. Oh my gosh, 2 cameras. Barbara's outdoing herself today. Okay, we got it? All right. So everybody, here's what's going to happen next. Everyone in costume is going to follow me around the room so you can get a good look at their costume as they pass by your seats. And then the costume parade is going to go straight into the social hall, and the people wearing costumes get first dibs on the Homentashen and the apple juice and buying a book and voting in the election. So, everybody in a costume, follow me. Go this way. Come. Here comes the Grogger Collection Committee. They were dissolved and then reassembled. They used to be the Grogger Distribution Committee. Now they are the Grogger Collection Committee. Pass your Groggers to the center aisle. Okay, let's turn on camera 1 so that you can get a good look at us from camera 1. The other there we go. Camera 1. Okay, ready? Guys, you see the red light up there? Wave to the red light. Here we go. Happy Purim. Happy Purim. Happy Purim. Happy Purim.